All right, so this is time for another Rod's Rant. As you can see, I've got a virtual background up behind me to assist with this. What I want to talk about today is I've been seeing a lot of reviews and reaction videos to the new Star Wars movie, Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and just how upset so many people are at that movie. At the same time, I've been following the new Star Trek Discovery and the Orville, and how people are reacting between these two different properties, and how angry they are that Star Trek Discovery is not following the canon the way Gene Roddenberry would have had it. But this is not new. This is something that's been going on for a long time. I'm a big science fiction fan. I've been reading science fiction since I was a youngster. And one of my favorite authors is Robert Anton Heinlein, who wrote Starship Troopers. Now, many of you will know, if you had seen Starship Troopers as a movie, not a bad movie. You can have your own problems with it, but it seems to hold up quite well as a movie. But compared to the book, it's totally different. Heinlein spends 3 or 4 pages describing why there are no women in the mobile infantry. Yet in the opening scenes of Starship Troopers, what do you see? You see women in the mobile infantry in a very revealing shower scene, should we say. And also, it's not new for that. The Andromeda Strain, which came out in the early 60s, I believe, the Andromeda Strain book described why there were no women in the Wildfire Project. And yet, in the opening scenes of that movie, which is only made a year or two later, there are women in the Wildfire Project. Why? Because Hollywood and the film industry in general is not interested in the book. They're not interested in following somebody's vision. They're not interested in anything that the author is trying to make. What Hollywood is interested in is one thing: dollars. And if changing the book so that there is a female character when there weren't any in the book is going to make them more profits, they will do it. They don't care about the movie at all. And this is part and parcel of capitalism in general. And that's something that everybody needs to understand. That's what capitalism is. Capitalism is you make a product that is going to make you the most money. And then the other side of that equation, the part where you and I come in as the viewers, is that we vote with our dollars. We decide who gets rewarded for what they've done. So if you hate the new Star Wars movie, but you go see it 6 times, and you buy all the porgs and all the other different things that come with it, if you go and buy the DVD and everything else you can do to support that movie so that it makes billions of dollars, you've just told Hollywood to keep doing that thing you complained about. It's the same as if you don't like Walmart and you complain about Walmart while you're walking into Walmart to buy stuff. You are rewarding Walmart for doing things that you don't agree with. If you don't like something, you need to vote with your dollars. Anything that you see that offends you, offends your sensibilities, does a disrespect to a property or a series that you don't like, you need to not only complain about it and not only talk to other people about it, but you need to let the company know that produced it, and you need to vote with your dollars, because really, that's what's going to affect them. If it cuts into their bottom line, that's what's going to change their behavior. If Star Trek Discovery fails because everybody is upset with the show's premise and where it is going, and they know that, they will change. If it fails because people just don't watch it, they'll blame you instead. We as viewers have a responsibility to try and support the good products and not support the bad products. If there are things out there you don't like, don't support them. There's been plenty of good science fiction shows that came out that appealed to real science fiction fans, but not enough people supported them. There was one, Defying Gravity. There was a 3-year story arc design, but they never even made it through all of the first season because not enough people supported it. We're waiting to see if The Expanse is going to come back. I suppose it's going to come back this spring. which would be nice because it's a fairly well done show. Um, Dark Matter apparently is gone. Killjoys, which is, as far as I'm concerned, not as good of a science fiction show. It's just more of an entertainment show set in a sci-fi environment. It's coming back. The Orville's coming back. Discovery's still running, which is good from a science fiction viewpoint. But if you want to support science fiction of the type you like, you've got to let people know and vote with your dollars. And that's my basic rant in general. We live in a capitalistic society, and you need to do your part. Otherwise, the system doesn't work. Complaining isn't enough. You need to actually vote with your dollars and do something about it that affects their bottom line, because that's how capitalism works. Money is the currency. Literally, it is what controls a capitalistic society. That's the whole point of capitalism. You affect people's capital, and it changes their behavior. And if you work within that system, then you can work it. And towards that end, also, we need to look out and guard against monopolies. Monopolies are not part of capitalism. In order for capitalism to work, there must be competition. If you can only choose Walmart, if there is no Zellers, if there is no Bay, if there is no Sears, if there's no other store that you could go to, even if there's no Costco, if there's no competition, you can never ever vote with your dollars, because you're either going to Walmart or not getting those products at all. Competition is what drives capitalism, is what makes it work. And if we lose competition, if we gain a monopoly, then capitalism is not going to work. So we need to guard against that. Nova Scotia, we used to have Nova Scotia Power. It was owned by the province. It was a public utility. When it got privatized, it went into private hands. It is now a monopoly on infrastructure. And your choices are, you either buy power from Nova Scotia Power at whatever rates the government allows them to have, or you have to make your own. That's your options. There is no competition. There's nobody else you can go to. With telephone, when Eastlink wanted to get into telephone, the province set it up so that Eastlink could get a foothold. And now there's competition. Bell and Eastlink are competitors, and they keep each other in line so that rates don't skyrocket because there's nobody else to stop them. We need to prevent monopolies in order for capitalism to work. But to go back to Star Wars and Star Trek and all that, I think a lot of times these shows sometimes are looked down upon too, because they're not what you expected. I'm not a real big fan of Star Trek Discovery right now, just because of the route it's taking, but I can see some potential for it. I have not gone to see The Last Jedi. I'm very busy right now. I'm in the last semester of the last year of a Bachelor of Engineering in computers. A Bachelor of Computer Engineering, which is taking all my time. And I've got a wife and kids, so I'm very busy. But of the reviews I've seen, some of the things that people are complaining about, I don't think they've thought them through either. Like the scene where, and spoilers, just in case, the scene where Rey hands Luke his old lightsaber and he just casually throws it over his shoulder. People are like, well, what was that? Because they're expecting him to have some reverence and all that for it. But don't forget, the Jedi aren't supposed to be attached to physical objects. So as a real Jedi, there should be no meaning attached to that lightsaber, because he should supposed to be not attached to anything. So for him to throw it over his shoulder is basically telling Rey physical things mean nothing. And that's actually probably in line with the Jedi and their Jedi way. Now, I'm not going to go through all the other faults and things that have happened in the property. Once again, just because it worked in 1977 when Star Wars, the original movie, A New Hope, came out, that's 40 years ago. I saw it in the theater, but that's 40 years ago. The audiences have changed, and Disney is trying to make money. And if changing the whole lore of Star Wars makes them more money, that's what they're going to do. And if you don't like it, vote with your dollars. That's my rant.